This conference will now be recorded.
I'm sharing my screen. You should be able to see my screen. Now. Can you please confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes, we can able to see your screen.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. So far, we were working on virtual machines, right? So virtual machines fall under IaaS. So here, when we create virtual machine, we were able to choose operating system, right? So that means from, if you see this green color, you manage, that means we manage. Blue color means cloud provider manages. So we already discussed about this, I think multiple times, right? So in IaaS, it's our responsibility to do all these green color items. So choosing the virtual machine, choosing the operating system, and then managing the operating system is our responsibility. That means any new OS updates, patches, security updates. In fact, upgrading to the newer version is also our responsibility. Okay, so those are all our responsibilities in IaaS. So we created this virtual machine. So you can see IP address got allocated to that virtual machine. Now I can remotely log into virtual machine. You already seen this, how to connect using remote desktop. So all that is possible with virtual machine. So it's an advantage. So connecting to the virtual machine, downloading softwares, installation of softwares, making configurations, changing the registry of that server, all that is possible with IaaS. Those are all advantages. We'll get complete flexibility in virtual machine. But the downside is a lot of admin work. It's our responsibility to upgrade it. All that additional work will be there for admins. Okay. So today we are going to learn about another concept, another service called which falls under PaaS. Okay. So where we don't have to manage operating system or any softwares installed inside it. All that is in blue color. You see, blue color means cloud provider manages. Okay, so a lot of work is abstracted from us. Microsoft Azure themselves will take care of that. We only need to worry about building the application databases and managing the permissions and accesses. That's it. Okay, that is the advantage, but the downside of PaaS is they cannot log into the server like how we did in IaaS. Okay, let's see PaaS services now. So there are hundreds of PaaS services. So today we are going to see about app service plan and app service. Okay, let's do that. Let me close this. Let me open another PowerPoint. Today we are going to learn about app service plan. This is very similar to virtual machine that we have created in the last few days. Okay. So what is app service plan? It's a plan. It's a service. It's a managed service which defines the set of compute resources for web application to execute. Okay. So what are those compute services? It provides CPU, RAM, storage, all that. Apart from all that, it is also called as server farm. App service plan provides a server farm, which is nothing but load balancer plus application servers. So app service plan is not just a VM, but it's a cluster of VMs which are sitting behind a load balancer. So we don't have to create load balancer. We don't have to create multiple servers. We don't have to deploy code multiple servers. All that is not required here in app service plan. But in virtual machines, if you want a cluster of VMs, then we will have to create all that ourselves. That's a big advantage of going to app service plan. That's a big advantage of PaaS. A lot of work is done by Microsoft Azure themselves. So a lot of efforts are saved to us. That's why everybody is moving towards app service plan. Everybody is moving towards PaaS with respect to anything. IaaS is more for legacy applications. Okay, so that's why my focus is also more on PaaS and serverless. Okay, all right. In one app service plan, you can configure multiple applications inside it, technically unlimited. It's not a good practice to deploy multiple applications or hundreds of applications in one app service plan, but technically it's possible. So when you create an app service plan, you define the following: in which region you want to create that app service plan. Obviously, right? We all know that. And then we need to choose operating system. So here there is a downside. We can only choose whether we want Linux based OS or Windows based OS only. You cannot choose a version of that because it's Microsoft responsibility to automatically upgrade it. So this facility of choosing a version is available in VMs, in virtual machines, but not in app service plan, because virtual machines are managed by us, so we can choose which version we want. But here the PaaS instances are, it's also called as VMs. Inside it, in the background, it's nothing but a VM. Okay? So in the PaaS server, operating system is managed by Microsoft Azure, so we cannot choose version. All we can choose is which OS flavor you want, whether it is Windows or Linux. And then very important thing is pricing tier. So these are all compute categories. How much CPU you want? If you want more CPU, more RAM, more space, then you should go to higher pricing tiers. Okay, there are around 8 different pricing tiers, right? And each pricing tier also has different sizes. Pricing tier is different, and each pricing tier internally has sizes. So that's small, medium, large. Okay, but free, the first two pricing tiers, right? Free and shared. You should not use these two for production. Then basic should also not be used for production, but some people who have budget constraints can use basic as well, but it's not recommended. Some people still use for small projects which they want to host temporarily for a month or two. Otherwise, it's highly recommended to go to standard or above, one of these, for production environment. So within this standard, you have again 3 sizes. Small means S1. So standard, the names, they give some short codes. So in standard, you have small means S1, this is S2, and this is S3. In the same way, premium also has 3 sizes: P1, P2, and P3. P1 means premium small, P2 means premium medium, P3 means premium large. In the same way, version 2 of premium also has 3 sizes, and version 3 of premium also has 3 sizes. I'll show you in the portal, then it will be clear. There are many things. So in interview, people would ask you, what pricing tier of app service plan did you use? So you should explain one of these. I have used premium version 3 of medium size or large size. Usually that would be the production configuration. And next thing is, I'm not sure if you're able to see it, number of instances. So while creating app service plan, if you remember, I mentioned it's a cluster of VMs. So what you can also do is you can specify how many servers you want. Is it 1, 2, 5, 10, 20? So it is all about scaling, right? We'll talk about scaling probably tomorrow. I will show you today a bit of scaling as well. Okay. So this is app service plan. One app service plan can be used to host one app service. So this is another service. So there are in Azure, everything is a service. So app service plan is one service. App service is another service. App service plan is used to host multiple app services. In this diagram so far, it is showing one app service, but it's possible to create multiple app services inside app service plan. Technically unlimited. Okay. From basic onwards, unlimited. But in free, you can only have 10 app services. In shared, you can have 100 app services only. But from basic onwards, it's unlimited number of app services you can host in one app service plan. Okay. All right. Yeah. Before we talk about this, let's create an app service plan first. So there are multiple ways. I can click on this and I can search for app service plan, or I can click on this. I will see all my existing app service plans. I think we already created one. So I think I should delete this. I think in our demo sessions, we have created this already. So I would like to delete this quickly. So how do you delete something? So copy it, delete. That's it. Okay. Because there is app inside it. So let me delete this first.
We can move one app from app service from one app service plan to another app service plan, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's not more, it's change basically. Yeah, we can do that.
So instead of deleting, you could have.
I don't have other one. No, it's in different location, right? So those problems will come up. So I want to use the same name, guys. That's why I wanted to delete it. You cannot have different things in the same. I'm going to use the same resource group. So in the same resource group, we cannot have two different with same name, right? So that's why I wanted to delete it.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, it is deleted now. Okay. So I can hover on this and I can also click on create button, or I can use this create button as well. So there are many different ways of paths for creating. Okay. So let me click on this create button. So I will choose this. So we should follow the naming convention. Azure devops hyphen. This is our project name, but in your real time when you're working in projects, you know what project you are working on, so use that name. And this is for dev environment, so put dev. And I know we are working with east to west, so east to west, and some people use shortcut EUS, WS, and so on. Okay. I am going to say east to west, and then what is this app service plan, right? So and one, because we might have multiple app service plans. So now you see, observe here, we can only choose a flavor of OS. We cannot choose versions. You can either choose Windows or Linux, right? And then East to West, because our customer is based out of US, so obviously their business is located inside East to West, so we need to choose East to West only. That's important. Next thing is app pricing tier. It is also called as SKU and size. So by default, Microsoft recommends us to use S1 because they always think that we use it for production, right? So that's why they recommend us standard. For now, I'm going to choose a free one. So there are multiple categories: dev test, production, and isolated. This is also for production, but dev test is mostly for development and testing. We'll come back to the screen, but now let me choose apply. I'm good with this. And tax, we already seen this. It's just for governance reason, to understand if you want to add any metadata, then you can use this kind of tags. And finally, in review plus create, you can have a quick review on what configurations you provided, and finally click on create. So before clicking on create, you see there is a button, download template for automation. So usually DevOps engineers, when they work on, one of the responsibilities is infra automation, right? We have seen Terraform. So the next thing that is available is ARM templates. We are going to learn about ARM templates as well. Portal, as of today, when you configure any service, when you key in all the inputs to any service, not just to app service plan, even for virtual machines, databases, everything, in the final step, it will give you a template that you can directly use without authoring. It only gives ARM template. The portal gives only ARM template. It doesn't give bicep code as of now. Probably Microsoft might plan to provide bicep in the future, and obviously it doesn't support Terraform. It doesn't provide Terraform. Okay, usually if in your company, if you are working on ARM templates, then probably you can use this button to quickly generate ARM template. I have seen people using this approach to accelerate their development. This is available only in final step. This button is not available in previous steps. All right. So I'm going to create it manually. Later we will also learn. We will create the same thing using bicep. Okay. So I want to show this manually for the next few days. I will be creating services manually. But once we are comfortable with the services, I will show you how to automate these as well. It's done. In just next 10 seconds or 15 seconds, our app service plan will be up and running. You see, it's done. So now I need to navigate. If I want to navigate, I can click on this button, or I can click on this button as well. But before I click on this, I would like to show you the template. So which ARM template has been used for this deployment? Basically, we have given a lot of inputs, right, for app service plan. So this portal, this management portal, what it does internally is, based on the inputs, based on the service that we have selected, it creates a template. And then it submits this template to Microsoft Azure. So this is ARM template. We have developed Terraform template yesterday for virtual machines. The same way, this portal has generated ARM template. We not discussed about ARM templates yet. We learn ARM templates soon, probably next week. Okay. So now you see, this is a little complicated. Terraform is far simple than this. The format of this is JSON. So this is a little complicated in my feeling, in my opinion, personal opinion. Yeah. So here you see resources. Don't worry about this. Just understand that this template in this place, you can download the particular template. Don't worry about all this syntax and all. We'll learn about this later. You can also download this if you want. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that template is possible here. You can see outputs and you can also view inputs that you are passing to this template. Let me click on go to resource. Yeah, here F1 free is the pricing tier of this app service plan. Okay, so we can do scale up, scale out here. We are not going to do it now. We will come back to this later. So now the downside is you don't see connect button here. We cannot log into this server. It's impossible. It's not possible to log into the server. If you have any issues, generally, why do we log in? There are multiple reasons. One, to install any new software. So here it's not possible because all the softwares are pre-installed. .NET, Java, PHP, Python, Ruby, all those are pre-installed and pre-configured as well. All the paths will be set automatically by Microsoft. We don't have to worry about anything. In case if you think that you don't want the default softwares for your application, you want a very new brand software. In that case, then yes, you need to go to virtual machines because virtual machines has complete flexibility. A real-time scenario when you are talking to customers, talking to non-technical customers, they would ask you, when should I choose app service plan versus virtual machine? That's a very common question in interviews as well as your client discussions. The virtual machine must be used especially for legacy applications where you need complete flexibility, where you are dependent, where your applications are dependent on specific version of OS, where you might want to do a custom installation of software, and where you might want to make changes to registry. So in all these cases, you should go to virtual machines. But if you are working on cutting edge technologies like Node.js, Python, .NET, PHP, and you always want to choose the latest versions of those tools and softwares, then obviously, without thinking anything, you should use app service plans. It's as simple as it is. Okay, I have seen many in interviews, many people are asking this. All right, let's move on. Now we have various pricing tiers. What is the significance? What are the differences? Okay, let's learn about that. So the first column is listing of all pricing tiers, free, shared, blah, blah, blah. And these are all various features that they either support or do not support. In free, nothing is supported. I mean, all these are not supported, but it only helps us in hosting app services, hosting web applications. That's it. Okay. And then custom domain. In case if you have attended my demo, you might have seen we were able to access the web application. So we will not create any app service yet. We are going to create one, and you see, I will explain what is custom domain in a moment. In basic, the reason why I recommend we can use basic for production because it gives us a dedicated virtual machine internally. So app service plan also has VMs, but they're not accessible to us. So that's why generally VM word is not used in app service plan word. We use instance. App service plan instance is the technical term that people use. So here in basic, when you choose basic pricing tier, you are getting dedicated VM internally, dedicated instance internally. That means shared and free, you don't get dedicated. Multiple customers share the same server for hosting the websites. That's the reason why we should not use free or shared in production. You don't get any SLA there. But in basic onwards, you are going to get SLA because it's your VM. Okay. So obviously standard, premium, everywhere you get dedicated version. So now by default in this app service plan VMs, when you create a web application, the URLs by default will be public. Anybody who knows the URL can access that publicly over internet by default. But in some confidential applications, in some financial applications, a customer might say, no, I don't want to use that. I want to have my private network. I want to have my own network. In that case, you should go to isolated pricing tier. This is setting up. This is a little complex. It takes a lot of time to set up this. Only to create isolated pricing tier, it takes around 2 hours. We have created free and basic and standard in just half minute. Even premium can also be done in half minute. But isolated takes around 2 hours only for creation. Any small change, it will take again 30 minutes. Okay.
So
So if
exactly,
you want,
what is the difference? How, Miss, are you going to demonstrate something like this is how you create the service plan in isolated? Means exactly these are
no,
the manuals
AC, yeah, unfortunately AC I cannot show you. It's expensive as well.
Okay.
Okay. So unfortunately we will not be able to see this. It takes 2.5 hours, 2 hours only to create one app service plan. We were able to create one of the standard, right? Earlier, I think in demo I showed you standard. It hardly takes 30 seconds. I'll show you how to upgrade free to standard. Right now we are in free. We just create free pricing tier, right? I can upgrade it to standard in just 10 seconds. But unfortunately, I cannot show you isolated because it takes 2 hours. Probably include it, but it's expensive.
I'm trying to
So,
understand.
yeah, so organization won't use this isolated AAC.
No. They will use
Okay.
organizations who need dedicated networking, a private, very isolated environment. Then
So isolated in a sense, private cloud, Praveen, or it could
no,
be
not private
public
cloud.
one.
No, it's still in public cloud, but they will have complete control on everything, including the DNS, private DNS, private IP address, private network, all that. So
Okay.
these other things, other pricing tiers, they will be hosted in something called as um, Azure backbone. So the way we access them over is over internet, and internally there is something called as Azure backbone and all. So that way we will be able to access the rest of. Okay. All right.
So, Praveen, I'm just trying to understand the concept. Is basically, you when you mentioned 2.5 hour, right? So that's why I was just trying to understand, like, since earlier, like you just wizard kind of thing, you provide the information for app service plan, but when you call isolated, you have to go different places to do the setup. Is that what you are referring?
No. One service, like how we created app service plan now, right? That itself will take an hour or two.
So
It's not
Microsoft
about,
is going to do processing behind the scene. It's not for us to understand.
yeah,
That is
correct.
what
We
you are
just need to
referring.
submit the details, name, blah, blah, blah. Then internally they will take an hour or two to create that infrastructure.
Okay. I
All right.
thought like we have to do something explicitly to make that
No,
happen.
it's not our work. If it is that, we would have done that, but we don't need to do much. They will, internet will take time for them to provide that infrastructure to us.
Okay, got it.
So yeah, so if you want private network, then you should go to AAC. And the other reason is, if you see the number of, okay, we'll talk about this. So that's when, so in interviews, if somebody asks you, I want dedicated VNet or private VNet, which is very isolated. In that case, what do you do? In that case, we should go to isolated pricing tier. It's called as ASC. It's a special name, App Service Environment. App service is different, app service environment is different. So don't get confused with that. So the names are similar. You have app service plan. Inside it, you have app service environment, which is very special, wherein you want private dedicated VNet. In that case, you should go to ASC. Okay. And then custom domain, we'll talk about this. Basically, custom domain is nothing but the URL. By default, Azure gives you default URL, and you want to customize that. It's not possible in free, but in shared and higher tiers, you can change. Absolutely, it's possible. And then load balancing. So obviously, in free and shared, load balancing is not possible, but it is possible from basic or higher. In basic, load balancing is possible. You can create up to 3 servers, 3 app service plan instances. And in standard, you can create a cluster of 10, and here up to 30, maximum is 30. And in isolated, you can, by default it is 100, and you can go beyond 100 if you want. Okay. In premium also, if you want beyond 30, then you should talk to Microsoft, work with them, and then they will be able to increase the limit to whatever you want. I have never done that. That's a big process. I've never done that, so I'm not sure exactly what is the process that we should follow in case if you want to increase the number of servers from 30 to 50 or 100 or 1000, right? So here you see no for auto scaling. So I combined both these two for space issues. So now I think I have space, so I think probably I should change it. But load balancing is possible in basic, but auto scaling is not possible in basic. You have to only do manual cluster configuration. If you want 2 servers, you have to manually go and change from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 in basic. But in standard, you can ensure, you can let Azure do that from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 5, blah blah blah, up to 10. Right? So we will see how to create this. So let's first understand different concepts, okay, about scaling and all. So there are 2 types of scaling: vertical scaling and horizontal scaling. Okay, and within this there are many concepts. So we'll learn all about this. Okay, so I'm not explaining these now because I have separate slides for each of them. So let me go into first. Vertical scaling. So I tried my level best, guys, to implement animation and all. So please pay attention. So you have vertical scaling and you have horizontal scaling, right? So scale up, scale down. These 2 terms come in vertical scaling. So scale up is nothing but increasing the compute power, increasing the storage. So whenever you think that your application needs more compute power, more storage, then you will go to vertical scaling. Or to be more specific, you will scale up. Most of the time you scale up to get more compute power. Okay, but you also scale up to leverage additional features that are available only in higher tiers. For example, you want more than 10 servers. That's not possible in standard. In standard, you can have only 10 servers in a cluster, right? But if you want 15, then you should scale up from standard to premium, because it's additional feature, additional VM you can get only in premium. Okay, so scale up can be done to improve the compute power or additional features as well. And usually when you do this scale up, it might take few seconds to 5 minutes, depending on various factors. Probably your configuration of application would be too complicated, or there might be a lot of traffic. So scale up will be done only when there is no traffic, or it will serve all the current requests, and when all the current requests are served, then it will initiate the scale operation. Yeah, scale up is carried out after all the current requests are processed completely. That's about scale up. Obviously, scale down means the other way around. So decreasing the capacity is called as scale down. So you should remember this term. Scale up is increasing the capacity, scale down is decreasing the capacity. And yeah, web jobs will be stopped. We'll not talk about web jobs. We'll talk about this. It's not required for you guys. It's more for developers. So don't worry about that. Now, horizontal scaling. Traditionally, this is called as web form. This is also called as load balancing. So app service plan allows us to do horizontal scaling. Very good. So one point to remember is, in horizontal scaling, you can create multiple servers. The important point is they will be of same capacity. You cannot request for different capacities for different servers in the cluster. It's not possible in app service plan. It is possible in virtual machines world. Okay, but here when you say scale out, horizontal scaling means it is also called as scale out. Increasing the servers is also called as scale out. When you scale out to multiple servers, it could be 2 or it could be 10, it could be 20, 30. All those servers in the cluster will be of same capacity. Okay, so let's say we started with one server. Okay, and we will deploy our application as well. But once you deploy it and once you increase the number of servers, we don't have to connect to each and every server and do the deployment. It's not possible. It's not required. Automatically, all the servers will have access to the code. That's the power of PaaS. But in virtual machine world, you will have to manually deploy the code into multiple servers in your cluster. That's the downside of virtual machines. But here it's very simple. And horizontal scaling can be done either manually or automatically. We'll see both. Okay. All right. So here, this is the animation actually. Let's see. Vertical scaling, horizontal scaling. You have one application. We did not create this app service yet. We are going to create app service soon. So let's say in case if you have one web app hosted inside one app service plan whose initial size is 2 core CPU, assume that you are getting a lot of traffic, 2 cores is not sufficient. So obviously you'll try to increase the capacity of that single server, probably to 4 cores and then 6 cores. You should not keep on increasing the capacity of one server. It will burn out soon. It's similar to us, right? We can only work for 8 hours a day. If our manager expects us to do more work, they cannot ask us to work for 16 hours or 24 hours. Probably we can work for 1 day or 2 days. The third day, obviously, will go down completely, right? So it doesn't make sense to increase the capacity of just one server when you need more power. That's why it is not a recommended approach when you want more power. The recommended approach is to do horizontal scaling. You have one web app which is hosted initially in one app service plan with 2 core. But when traffic is increasing, what you should do is, the best practice is to increase multiple servers of the same capacity, similar to our workload. Right? In app service plan, it is possible to add or remove VMs. Right? So it's recommended to add more servers like this. Here it is server, second server with same capacity, third server with same capacity. Overall, in both scenarios, in vertical scaling also you get 6 cores. Here also you get 6 cores. But these are 3 different servers. But here it's just one server. Definitely there is a difference, right? In real time, it makes sense to have 3 people. When you want 24 hours per day productivity, you should deploy 3 resources, 3 people working every day. That's the best practice that we also follow in our teams. The same way, for servers, it makes sense to add multiple instances when you want more power. The other advantage that you see is whenever you don't need more capacity, you can decrease. You can remove this server. You can remove that server. Of course, minimum 1 server should be there. So now, as we already discussed, manually we can increase or decrease the servers. Automatically also we can increase or decrease the servers. This is called as vertical scaling and horizontal scaling. So first, let's
Hi,
see.
Kiran here.
Yeah, Kiran.
Will there be any cost impact between vertical scaling and horizontal scaling?
Yeah, very good question. Anybody would like to answer? There will be. Yeah. So we need
I
to
think
calculate that.
yeah, I believe horizontal would be more costly than vertical.
Yeah, little costly. Horizontal scaling would be because we are getting
Yep.
multiple servers, right? So definitely.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So let's first understand vertical scaling. So remember, guys, app service plan is we need to go to app service plan and scale up. So vertical scaling can be done here. Horizontal scaling can be done here. Okay. So now let's understand various pricing tiers before we do scaling. Okay. So we have dev test. In dev test, this is free. You can see shared infrastructure, 1 GB memory. You only get 60 minutes per day. And when you select this, it's turned into blue color, right? This is the current selected one. And these are below, it shows us the options. You get some memory, you get some storage. That's it, nothing else. But here, when you click on this, you get additional feature called custom domain. You can change the URLs. That's the only feature that you get. And when you go to basic, basic has 3 sizes: B1, B2, and B3. You can see the amount of CPU, amount of RAM, and what is the price here. So in B1, you have it is 2,000 rupees because I am from my account is Indian based account, so it is showing us in INR. But if you log in, if somebody is in the US, if you log in, you will see dollars or euros if you are from European country. So based on the selected item, if I scroll down, you see more features. In basic, you can go up to 3 instances. Even in B3 also, you can go up to 3 instances. Okay, all right. So now, how do you scale up? I can simply select.
Sorry, Praveen, sorry to interrupt you. What is that based on availability? Actually, what is it that means?
Subject to availability. Yeah. So basically, Microsoft says we'll provide you more instances only if we have it available. Otherwise, you will have to wait. That's what it means.
Okay.
So many customers like us, right? Microsoft guys has many customers. So today they might start small, right? And they might increase the number of servers. Everybody will be doing that, right? So what they say is we will provide that only, we'll provide more instances only if there are free servers internally in data centers. That's what it means. but we don't need to worry about that. Generally, just for precaution, they have given this, but generally, at least in my experience, I have never faced any issue saying that we don't have any servers available. You cannot scale out. I have never seen that kind of error, but they just added this uh, to just be safe. Okay, earlier it was not there. Few years back, we were not seeing this at all for basic standard. Only for premium, we used to see that subject to availability. But now they have added even for basic and standard as well. It was not there earlier for standard, only premium was there. Okay, all right, but we don't need to worry about that, Vijay. So if you want to go to production, click on this and you choose S1. You don't see S2, S3 here, right? For that, you need to click on this arrow mark and you can see S2, S3. And now, generally what happens is, please pay attention on price. This is, okay, first thing is, let's come back. Let's come down. P1, P2, P3. These are the very first version that they released. And observe the cost. 100 units of CPU and 1.75 gigram, right? How much is this? 15,000 rupees. But if I scroll up to the next versions of premium, you see same P1 but version 3. Okay, check the capacity. It's double. CPU is double to this, but RAM is almost 4 times. And see the price, it's just 6,000 rupees approximately. The same thing, same size, it is P1, but the cost is 30% only. And CPUs are far better CPUs. The reason is this is new hardware. We all know, right? As and when new hardware comes, it will be effective one and it will be cheaper. The same rule applies even here. When Microsoft releases new versions of pricing tiers, they will definitely purchase the better CPUs, which are faster and cheaper. But you might be wondering, when these are cheaper, why come they are still giving this facility? The only reason is backward compatibility. There might be many customers who might still be using P1. We don't know. They might not be aware of all these, right? So they'll still go on using this because their business is going and they will not worry about changing to it because it's all stable. That's the only reason why you see older versions of premium, just to support backward compatibility. Okay, so whenever you want higher tiers, you just click on that and click on apply. So let me ask you a question here. Is there any problem if you downgrade from higher to smaller? First of all, do you think it is possible to downgrade from higher to lower tiers? Anybody? Can you guys answer?
I think it's possible.
It's possible. Yeah, it's generally possible. But will there be any edge cases where it might not be possible? What do you guys think?
Yes, Praveen. Some cases it's not possible. The reason is because you have consumed such kind of resources already.
Such kind of features already. Exactly. For example, if you remember in premium, we can have up to 20 or 30, right? So if I am in P1 of version 2, if I scroll down, how many I can have? I can have 20 instances. Okay, how do we increase the number of instances? It is in here. Let's say in premium, we are in premium and we are using 15 instances. Okay, so now because we are in 15, can I make it to standard S1? It's not possible because standard it's the maximum number of instances only 10. So if you are using premium features, in that case you cannot downgrade to lower tiers. It will throw an error saying that no, you are using some features which are not supported in standard. That's one reason why you will not be able to downgrade. Okay, now
Can we scale in, like s-
Yes,
scaling in from 15 instances to
exactly.
7 or 8 and then moving to down.
Absolutely. That's the right way. You need to be in limits, right? So if you definitely the customer says no, premium is becoming expensive, go to standard for some reason, then yes, you need to decrease the number of servers from 15 to 9 or 10. Then yes, then make it to S1 or anything in S. It's good. That's the good way of downgrading or scale down. Okay. Now, this is about, we are talking about possibilities. Will there be any other problems? Now you
Will there
mentioned we,
be downtime required to scale in or scale up?
sorry, your voice was echoing. Can you please repeat?
Yeah, will there be any downtime required for changing the
Very good
versions?
question. Very good question. Remember, in this is PaaS, right? App service plan. That's a very good question. I forgot to tell you. When you change this, right? First of all, let's understand what happens internally. Okay. So you remember, you see this DV2 series, A series. I think we discussed about this when we were discussing about virtual machines.
So Praveen, before you answer that question, actually, I got another question.
Wait.
This
Vijay, let's go step by step. Okay. So there are sizes, many sizes. You see, these are all sizes. B series is what it is showing. A series was very old. They have removed it. Okay, for virtual machine. These are the sizes of virtual machine. So same internally, same technology will be used for app services as well. Right. So now, when you change this, what happens is we are completely changing the server. Our applications will be referred in completely different server when you change the pricing tier. Even from here to here also, though the series is same, but the servers will be completely different internally. Okay, but what happens with PaaS, the beauty of PaaS is technically there will be a downtime, but as a human you cannot even see that. I have done this scale, I have done this changing hundreds of times. I have never faced any downtime except one time. I was able to see that error only one time. So that's the power of PaaS. But in VMs, if you change the pricing tier, it automatically restarts the VM. So in place upgrade is, changing the size or changing the pricing tier doesn't require any downtime in app service plan. I will prove that. I will show you this after we create app services. But in VMs, a downtime is required. Okay. So now, I think did I answer your question? I'm not sure who was asking that.
Yeah, Praveen, Kiran here. Thank you.
Yeah, Kiran. Yeah, thanks. And now coming to my point. Sorry, Vijay, just wait. I also want to explain one more point. So we're talking about problems, right? What happens when you downgrade from higher versions to lower versions, right? Will there be any problems? Yes. Sometimes what happens is IP addresses, right? So in PaaS, app service plans is a server, that's what I mentioned, right? But IP addresses will not be assigned to app service plan. IP addresses will be assigned to app services. The applications, individual application will be allocated IP addresses. Okay. So when you are downgrading from higher tiers to lower tiers, there is a chance that the IP addresses might be changed. I'm not saying every time it will change, but there is a chance your IP addresses allocated to your apps might change. So you should be very careful when you are downgrading, especially from any tier to free tier. You might lose that. So be careful in your production scenarios. Okay. All right, please go ahead, Vijay now.
Yeah, thank you. So earlier slide, when we were looking this particular app service, we said that there is like this when you select the scale up and scale out, uh,
Mhm.
you have the dev test this app service plans like basically P1 or P2. That normally that is applicable to the whole app service, no app service plan, or it is based on the scale out or scaling. Actually, I got confused there.
Now, which slide? Can you please tell me?
Can you go?
This?
Can you go? This is something.
Which
Uh,
one? Which one?
or I assume. Okay, you got table one. Just yeah, pricing tier. When we are talking of pricing tier, basically we are talking to the app service plan. Then why it is part of the scaling and scale out separately?
Sorry, I did not get your point.
Okay. So now this app service pricing tier is applicable to app service plan.
Correct.
Okay. Now go to the Azure portal now.
Mm-hmm.
You have selected the scale up here
Correct.
and you are trying to check the plan accordingly.
Correct.
So if I understand correctly, if you are trying to achieve the scale up, the pricing tier might be different and scale out pricing tier might be different. Is that correct
No, no,
understanding?
pricing. No. Scale. I did not go to scale out. Don't combine them. Pricing tiers can be seen only in scale up.
Okay.
Okay. So increasing the servers or decreasing servers, if that particular current feature supports, then only we'll see scale out. For example, right now we are here, right? If we go to scale up, nothing will happen. Nothing will be there. This will be disabled. You cannot do scale out here in free tier because currently our plan is in free tier. If you want to scale out, then you should go to particular pricing tier which supports it. Basic supports scaling, right? Scale out is supported. 3 instances means scale out. So B1 supports. If I apply, it will take 10-15 seconds to get succeeded. It's done. If I go here, now you will see options. Okay. So here I can move it. Either I can move this bar or I can change it here and click on save. That's it. I'm done. Now our application, right now we don't have any application hosted inside it. Tomorrow we'll see that. But now our application will be running in 3 servers automatically. We don't need to do anything. That's the power of app service plan. That's the power of PaaS. Now let's say I'll be charged from now onwards. I'll be charged for 3 servers. It's not 1 server. It's whatever price you see into 3. It's around 2,000 rupees or 3,000 rupees per month, right? Now I will be paying from now onwards. I'll be paying 3x. If I keep like this the entire month, I'll be paying around 7,000, 8,000 rupees, right? But if I scale it down, scale in back to 1, I only pay for those 1 or 2 minutes for 3 servers. That's the flexibility that you get in PaaS world. This is the exact reason why every customer is moving from on-prem to Azure. They want this kind of flexibility. Again, there are some disadvantages even here. We'll talk about that, learn about that tomorrow. But I think now it's time for the quiz. Before that, any questions, guys? Any questions? I'm open
Yeah,
for questions for the next
Kiran
5
here.
minutes. Please go ahead.
Are IP address chargeable?
Yeah, the same question was asked. So here in PaaS, we get IP addresses. They are not chargeable. Okay, you don't need to create any IP address. For example, earlier, I'm not sure, Kiran, if you are there or not, we created virtual machines, right? So
Right.
let me go here. So I have 2 virtual machines so far, whose IP address is this. So these 2 are chargeable. because this IP address is a separate component altogether. In IS, in VM's world, yes, these are separate IP addresses which are chargeable. I think the default 5 IP addresses are free. From there onwards, it's chargeable. Obviously, in production scenarios, we'll be having hundreds of IP addresses, hundreds of servers, right? So yes, they are chargeable in VM world. But in PaaS, I don't think there is a special cost for IP address. IP address is allocated to app services, not app service plans. That's something that you should remember. In PaaS world, individual app service will have IP. Probably we'll be surprised to see the same IP addresses to multiple app services as well. We'll discuss more about that later when we create app service. So to your answer, yes, IP addresses are chargeable in VM world, not in PaaS.
Okay.
Praveen, one
Yeah,
thing for manual instances for this to auto scale, do we have to do manually, or is there any configuration setting that we have to maintain and it will be done automatically?
We'll discuss. Yeah, we'll not discuss that today, right?
Okay.
We will discuss about scaling more. I did not do anything because we are running out of time. So we'll do a detailed thing. There are many things you see. I will show you the slides. So there are many slides out there. So we'll do all this. We need to understand rules. All this we'll do it tomorrow. Yeah,
Yeah, sure,
you are right.
sure.
Configurations must be done. Yeah, there are many slides, right? So entire dedicated session is required for that.
Yeah, thanks.
So, Praveen,
Is this process particular to this portal, or can we do in Terraform as well? This scaling.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything that you do in portal can be done in Terraform as well, or ARM templates. 99.99% of the things, yeah, you can automate. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions, guys, before we start our quiz?
yeah. Praveen, when it comes to the app service plan, okay, pricing types, so you're talking about isolated one, right? So
Mhm.
generally isolated, if correct me if I'm not wrong, generally this isolated one are widely using in our companies, right? Because it is giving a private domain and control over your network, everything. So majority of the times people are using the isolated ones
No, not
because it,
really. Only financial customers like insurance, banks, only those guys use it.
okay, okay, because they need some secure network areas.
Yeah, even see, it's not that other pricing tiers are not secure. No, everything is secure. But some customers, right, they believe in what they think is right.
Hmm.
So that's why they one reason. If I am the customer, if I am the person who is running business, if you ask me why would you go to AAC, I would go to AAC if I want 1,000 servers. In premium, you will not get 1,000 servers. Very high end servers. Then I will go to AAC.
Okay, fine.
Vijay, I think we can talk separately. You are still confused. We'll talk about that separately. Okay.
Praveen, one last question. As each and everything is chargeable here, so do we need to get approvals from the organization before doing anything, or can we do
Yeah,
on our own?
obviously. No. For learning, yes, you can do on your own. But when it comes to your work, what happens is your architects will share you the architecture. Along with that, they will also give you sizes, which pricing tier you should go to, all that. Basically, there will be a lot of work will be done by architects, assessments of the requirements. Um, Everything will be done by architecture team. Once the architecture is approved, then only you will be able to create any particular service and choose appropriate pricing.
Okay.
Even after you create it, there will be reviews happening. So different environments, different sizes will be used. In dev one test or staging, you will be using simple ones, probably standard ones. But in production, premium, P3, those kind of high-end capacities will be used. Scale out will be configured in production. in development and staging, it's not required because hardly some people will be using it, right? You don't need high-end configuration for that.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I am not still able to submit. Okay. I know why I was not able to submit it. Okay. Yeah. I think I shared the quiz. I think I have covered everything that is required for this quiz. Yeah. I think I covered. Yeah. I think again, guys, start submitting it.
Can you show the pricing tier?
I should. You can do Google, right? You can quickly go there. Yeah, I will also show you. See, generally the reason why I gave you this, you should feel free to learn more things. Don't try to complete now. So research and do that. Yeah, I think I can see one response. Good. Scored 8. Yeah, 2 responses. It came back to 6. Average is 6. I highly recommend guys you should try to maximize the numbers. Yeah, 10. I think 10. Someone got 10, which is very good. Yeah, good. There are a couple of things, 1 or 2 items which were not discussed, I guess. So those things you should learn things. Google it and learn things. For example, deployment slots. I did not discuss that yet. So you should do a quick Google search and answer that. I think overall you have 12 points, right? Yeah. So one of you guys got 10 out of 12. Lowest is 4. I think you guys. The idea is to so people who get low scores, right? 4, 5. I can see many 4, 5, 6. So you try to submit the quiz again, guys. You should learn things. I'm sharing you the recordings, right? You should go through the recordings and again implement the quiz. I suggest you guys to save these URLs. I don't disable them, but so please, we can, right? You can leverage. We can go through the recordings, and you should practice and answer the questions again. So I can see 4, 5, 6, multiple 4, 5, 6. Please practice. I can see only 110 so far out of 12. So I expect everybody to score 100%, right? So nobody has scored 90% so far at least.
Windows and Linux web service.
So far 18 responses, very good. I can see one more 10. Yeah, good. Only 2 people got 10 out of 12.
Praveen, one question I think it's a dicey, which
Please, but yeah.
in which pricing tier deployment slots could be created. So
Yeah, I did
deployment
not
slots
discuss
is
that. Yeah, I did not discuss that. It's available in standard or higher.
yeah standard and higher. So I have mentioned standard and premium. So but it said it's wrong. So it's okay.
Is it? Okay, 1 second. Let me
Yeah,
double check.
and it has given the option of multiple choice selections.
Yeah, same here. Praveen.
We should be fine, right? One plus bargaining.
um, okay. Yeah. The question itself. I mean, my intention was in which. Yeah, I think definitely the question is wrong. Yeah, you are right. Sorry for that. So how do I fix it? Isn't here.
Great. So 1 marks
Yeah,
increase.
yeah. Yes. What what was the number of that?
It's a question number 9, actually.
How many services? No, for me it doesn't. Yeah, I think this the question is also. I think it will get swapped automatically. I guess. Let me see. Slots. Yeah, for me it is 11. Yeah, definitely, guys. I'm so sorry. It is possible in standard and premium. Thank you, Rakesh. Yeah. So I
No,
have fixed
Mac
it
OS,
now. I fixed it now. Um, yeah, I think I'm not sure if your scores are modified automatically or not. I'm not pretty sure. Yeah, I think they're automatically updated. Yeah, Rakesh. Thanks for that. I think now you can check your score. Yeah, it is automatically updated. Your standard and premium. Good. I think you got 11. So I can see only 111 and tens. I think 7. Yeah, very good, guys. 7 people will score 10. And
Yeah,
what is the
Praveen,
common? Mm-hmm.
yeah, Praveen, I have one more thing. So there is a question: how many app services can be created in a app service plan?
Yeah.
So,
How many?
so it is saying unlimited,
Yeah. It is
but I have
unlimited, right?
yeah, I have a question here. So you have a app service plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, But for each app service plan, there are multiple app services, right? So
Correct.
each app service can create some spare or whatever, some domain or whatever you call. So unlimited means as long as the app service plan exists, you can create any number of app services. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct, correct. Yeah, except free or shared. Correct.
Okay.
It's not recommended. Technically, you can create, but it's not recommended.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
We'll get all those issues, right? Space issues, performance issues, everything.
Yeah, correct. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. All right, guys, good. I can see good numbers, but definitely I can see some low numbers as well. So yeah, please, others who got 5, 6, only few are there. I think who are less than 8, I can see only 4. So those guys, I recommend you guys to practice, go through the recordings in case if you have joined recently. Uh, please request your point of contact. If it is me or someone else, please get those recordings, go through the recordings, and again try to implement this quiz. That's a recommendation from me. And where is the module practice? Yeah, thank you so much, Raymond. So yesterday I promised that I will be sharing you the assignment, all that, right? Yeah. So let me share you the link first. So actually I documented that in my blog so that anybody can easily access that. That's an assignment. It's Terraform assignment. So I'm sharing that in the chat window. This is only the requirement. So please try it, guys. If something is not clear, please let me know. I will try to change it because it's my blog. So all the requirements are given here. Please read it. The second thing is I also promise that I will be giving you code, right? So let me give you the code. Basically, I created a storage account. We'll all learn about this as well. Okay. Terraform, and this is the code. How do I share it? So click on this, copy the URL. Please download this, guys, right away. And can someone click on this and tell me? Don't click on this yet. Wait, I need to give permissions. So I need to make it public. Can you guys please someone click on the zip file using the link that I just shared in the chat window and let me know if you're able to download it.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
able to
able
download
to
it. Yeah.
Yeah, open the zip. Yeah, open the zip, please, and see if you can see some code. Because I never done that. The first time I'm uploading. Yeah, I think we can see this, guys.
Yes, I can see single as well as assignment modularization configuration files.
Yeah. Single is the one that I used yesterday in our session, and the other folder, right? I think module assignment or something.
Okay,
You can
okay.
refer
Yeah.
that. That's the
Okay.
solution for this assignment. This
Okay.
particular.
Yeah. Yep.
So I might not be very clear. So if something is not clear, please you guys should give feedback so that I can improvise this. So please start giving me feedback. I don't see any feedback. Everybody says yes, good, great.
Uh,
So please start giving me
Praveen,
feedback.
one question. How to troubleshoot this Terraform codes? Like, is there any other tool which can directly point out very exactly which line is the problem?
No.
No.
There are no special tools. You just need to run those commands, validate, this kind of thing.
Okay.
So Visual Studio Code itself will tell you if there are any syntactical errors. It
Hmm.
will tell you some visual cues if something is wrong. For example, you might miss some equal to, some brace.
Okay.
So, okay.
Just one question I need to ask regarding Terraform. If, for example, if you create a resource group with the name X1, and we try to run it, and couple of resources gets installed like in the Azure or deployed, and not the virtual machine. It can happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I try to destroy everything and recreate with the same name, is it possible?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Mm,
But there is a catch. There is a catch there. Good point. I'll rephrase your question so that others also understand it.
mhm.
Can I delete a resource and create the same thing in the same name? Absolutely, that's what I did right earlier.
Mhm.
When we started, I deleted the existing app service plan and I created a new one with the same name.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, it's possible. Of course, I did it manually, but using Terraform or ARM template, you can delete it and recreate a new one. Absolutely, it's possible immediately. But there are some services which has a concept called soft delete. It's not delete, but it's soft delete. That means for us, for users, the portal shows that it is deleted, but internally it will save in kind of bin.
Okay.
It will
Okay.
delete entirely, permanently, only after 1 week or 1 month. So, for those services, critical services, you cannot immediately create the same name. That's not possible. You'll have to wait for some time, or you should rename it.
Okay.
Okay, both type of services are possible. One of the options, keyword is one such thing. It has soft delete feature, and there is one more service called API management service. This is also it also has soft delete because these are very critical services. Other services depend on this, so these
Okay.
guys have soft delete.
Key Vault and app management services, API management services. Okay.
Correct.
So
These
do we
have
have
soft delete.
permissions to delete anything in real-time scenario, right?
Yeah. We will talk about that. If you remind me tomorrow, I will explain about um, roles. For example, roles can be assigned here. We'll talk about this if you can remind me tomorrow. I just need 10 minutes or 5 minutes to explain this. Yeah, definitely it's
Okay.
important. Owner, contributor, reader role. Simple reader role will not let you delete, but contributor, owner will. Your default permission, rest of them are all custom based um, roles that Microsoft uses. But these are the three most common ones that everybody uses.
Okay. And
Again,
one last
talking about
question.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
Actually, we are using Terraform mostly, right? And we don't cover much on ARM templates or
No,
biceps, right?
no. We will cover. We will spend a lot of time in bicep and ARM template as well. Bicep, we'll create at least 5, 6 services using bicep. Yeah, we'll spend bicep definitely for sure.
So in interviews, they might ask us to do one scenario in all three. Will there be such kind of questions?
No, not all three. They will not ask. In any interview, right? If you know one technology, it is obvious that you can work on other technologies easily. You agree with that?
Yeah.
So they expect you to, if you say in interview, I worked only on ARM template, they will ask only an ARM template. If you say that you know only Terraform, they will ask only Terraform. Because if you are good in Terraform, they will take you. Though they might be using ARM templates, but still they will select you because they are very similar.
Okay.
Okay. So, but in this course, we will see all three. That's why we are not, covering um, one single technology completely. Right? Many of you might be surprised. At least some of you might be surprised that Terraform was done in 2 days. The reason is we need to cover bicep, we need to cover ARM templates. So some features which I did not cover in Terraform, for example, modularization will not cover there. We'll cover that in bicep. We'll modularize our bicep templates. Um, and same can be applied even in Terraform. So some features, I'm basically dividing features. Some features I'm showing in some technologies. So that you will get to know about you'll feel comfortable with all the technologies. That's the main intention of designing that way.
Okay.
Akhil, please go ahead.
Are we going to touch on Kubernetes?
Sorry?
Are we going to
Kubernetes.
touch on Kubernetes?
Kubernetes, yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah,
All
we
right.
will not discuss about Kubernetes, but we will discuss about AKS, Azure version of Kubernetes. Yeah, we will look at creating what is Kubernetes, what is AKS, how to create AKS cluster, how to deploy a Docker image. We'll of course look at Docker, how to Dockerize an application. I will take .NET application. How to Dockerize an application, how to deploy that into AKS, all that. Definitely AKS is a very large concept. But yeah, we will learn up to creating cluster and deploying a Docker based image, .NET based Docker image into AKS. Yeah, to that level we will learn with respect to AKS.
Okay.
Yeah. So all right, guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for time. Please practice, leverage this weekend. Please practice the module that I shared, and you can let me know if you think that some description is not correct. I will be more happy to modify that so that we can improve the quality together. Okay. Thank you, guys. Have a good day. Bye bye. We'll catch up tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Praveen.
Thanks, Praveen. Thank you, Mika.
Thank you, Praveen.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Praveen.
Thank you.
So, Praveen, just sorry to interrupt you. That I stated the problem when you said that there is a answer wrong. Then I refresh. I submitted. I got 11 marks, but answers were not appearing. So just got curious. Something entries got deleted or something happened wrong with the forms actually.
Oh, is it? Can you share your screen?
Yeah, just give me. So you need to give me.
I gave it.
Just let me know you are able to see. See,
Yeah, I
I'm
can.
able to see the this one, but whatever answers right or wrong it comes right. Everything is.
Again, there might be a bug. I'm not
So
sure
I
about this
you
product.
later.
Yeah, I think there might be multiple. I think URLs might be different. Probably you are trying to submit it again. Probably you might have clicked on submit again. That's why you
Yeah, I
might see
did that.
this. Yeah, I think it is showing you previous score.
No,
Probably
my
there are
previous.
multiple
My
links, right? When you submit it, it will show you view results, submit again links. So probably you might have clicked on submit again. That's why it's all clear. If you have seen view results, that would have been different. That's okay. You can submit again, Vijay. That should not be a problem, right?
thank you.
Yeah, sure. I can see one person who got 12 out of 10. That's very good.
Okay. Bye bye. Have a nice day.
Bye bye.